I've planted out a number of new plant cultivars introduced to the market this year to see how they perform in Oklahoma. The bed I've used is a rather challenging bed, unlike many of the gardens out in our studio that have a nice rich organic soil. The soil in this bed is heavy clay. It has a very low organic matter, and it's, as you can see, very exposed to sun throughout the day. We've had a few successes and failures and some plants that I'm really excited about. This is one of these that's been a delight. This is baby tut. It's a cyperus, and it's closely related to its larger kin, king tut, which has been a favorite on the market the last few seasons. This is a sedge that performs well in the water as well as on dry land. It has tolerated our hot, dry summer very well and is still thriving. This strong upright stems give it a nice firm structure, but the fine leaves add a little bit of a delicate touch to that. So a real nice plant to add some foliage and fine texture. We have another grass-like plant. This is ribbon bush, and it is a really interesting plant. What's attractive of it, or the ornamental feature, is actually a flattened stem. These are stems, not leaves. The leaves are these smaller projections on the side. They tend to be rather delicate and fall off the plant quickly, but the stems remain intact and they have this interesting sort of worm-like or snake-like appearance. The plant has somewhat of a rambling growth habit. It'll reach about 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide, and it adds nice texture. It's great to use for transitions between plants and add a little bit of texture. Another wonderful plant for texture is this blue mohawk. This is a rush, and you can tell rushes from sedges because sedges are flat. We say sedges have edges and rushes are round. The blades of these are round. Blue mohawk has a wonderful vertical structure. You could see how it would be great to add a little contrast in your garden, and it has a delightful blue coloration. Again, this has performed beautifully throughout the heat and has remained very colorful and very upright. I don't often get excited about new Nandina cultivars, but I've been very happy with this one. This cultivar is called Flirt, and it's a dwarf Nandina. This is about its mature size, an 18-inch ball in the landscape. This beautiful reddish pink coloration remains throughout the season. The new growth in the spring has that red color, and it'll retain that on the top, but see how it's framed with the darker green foliage for a nice contrast. The red color will remain on the plant throughout the fall and winter as well. Beside it, I have two different euphorbia cultivars, and euphorbias have become very popular for their nice, delicate appearance. This one is called Hip Hop, and as you can see, it is a prolific bloomer. It forms a mound 18 to 24 inches around, and the flowers just keep coming throughout the season. Again, we've had some really hot, dry weather, but these euphorbias are performing magnificently. This other cultivar is called Blush. It's part of the Breathless series, and you can still see a little bit of the pink coloration on the leaves. The new growth in the spring and early summer in particular has this very strong pink color throughout. A very soft appearance to the plant, very lovely. And again, we're covered with little blossoms throughout the season. Both of these have a wonderful mounding habit. I really love Ruellia or Mexican petunias for their rather graceful, delicate appearance. This is a cultivar called Chi-Chi. As soon as the weather warms in early summer, the Ruellias just put a profusion of blooms on top, and they do have a form that's reminiscent of the petunias, which gives them their common name, Mexican petunia. Chi-Chi has this pink with a little lavender color. There's other cultivars with different colored flowers. Now, Ruellias are typically grown here as annuals, but they are hardy to zone 8 and perhaps marginally hardy in 7B. If you give them a nice blanket of mulch, you might be able to get them to come through the winter. I also have a delightful pair of crepe myrtles I wanted to look at. This red-leafed cultivar is an introduction from Southern Living plant collection. This is Delta Jazz, and many of our red leaf varieties tend to scorch in the heat, but this one you could see the foliage is still looking wonderful, and it has this sort of interesting cup shape on the leaves. Now the burgundy and maroon colors of the stems and foliage is complemented by these raspberry pink blossoms. Just a delight. This is a medium-sized crepe myrtle, and it'll grow to a mature size of about 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide. We also have a miniature crepe myrtle, and this one is just delightful. It's called Chickasaw, and it's actually a hybrid between Lagerstroemia indica, which are the crepe myrtles we're more familiar with, and another species, Lagerstroemia forii. And this cross has yielded a delightful dwarf crepe myrtle with tiny little leaves and beautiful pink purple blossoms. It's truly a beauty, and it's performed again very well in our heat. Well, all of these cultivars I presented today have really proven themselves here in Oklahoma, and I would suggest you give them a try in your own landscape.